welcome to the 5th Annual HOAAS, which as we all know stands for History of America Award Show. Today we have lined up many amazing awards and nominees, which will make this night a night that you will never forget. I am your host tonight, Tess Courts, and I hope to make this a fun, entertaining, and eventful show for you all. Without further ado, let's get started. The first award we have tonight is the award for the catchiest song. The nominees for this award are the Preamble and the Bill of Rights. I will now share a little background on all of the nominees to show why they have been picked for this award. The Preamble summarizes the Founding Fathers' intentions to create a federal government and that we the people always live in a peaceful, safe, and well-defended country. The Preamble was written in 1787 mainly by Gouverneur Morris. The Preamble was also made into a song that was made by Schoolhouse Rock, and it is known to be very catchy and a great sing-along song. The Bill of Rights is the first 10 amendments of the United States, and they were put in place to provide specific freedoms to the people and to limit the power of the government. The Bill of Rights was ratified in 1791. The Bill of Rights was also made into a song, also by Schoolhouse Rock. This song is known to be educational and a good tune overall. It is now time to share the results with you all. And our winner for catchiest song is The Preamble.
Hi guys, I'm very thankful to have received this award tonight because I have gone through so much to better America and its government and people. My purpose in life is and always will be to inform the people of the United States that they are always living in a peaceful and safe environment. Thank you again. I am so grateful for this opportunity and I hope that everyone has a great night.
Thank you, Preamble. Thank you. Well, now that that award is over with, we will move on to our second award of the night, which goes to the amendment that made the biggest impact. Our nominees for this award are the 1st, 13th, and 19th Amendment. I will now give a brief explanation of each amendment before I announce the winner. The First Amendment states that the government is prohibited from making laws that take away your freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of the press, the right to peacefully assemble, or the right to petition the government for redress of grievances. This amendment was ratified on December 15, 1791. The 13th Amendment states that any type of slavery or involuntary servitude is abolished, except if it is punishment for a crime. This amendment was ratified on January 31, 1865. The 19th Amendment prohibits the states and the federal government from denying the right to vote to citizens of the United States on the basis of sex. This amendment was ratified on June 4, 1919. Now I will announce the winner of the amendment that made the biggest impact. And the winner of the 13th winner is the 13th Amendment.
I would just like to thank everyone for voting for me and my cause. I am so pleased with my impact in America and how I freed the slaves that were being beaten, tortured, and overworked, and many more things that they didn't deserve. Overall, I am just happy to stand here today and say that America no longer has slaves or any type of involuntary servitude.
Well, folks, it's now time to move on to the third award of the night, which goes to the person who made the most change in the colonial era. Our nominees for this award are Columbus/Quakers, William Penn, John Smith, Pocahontas, and Jonathan Edwards. Now I will tell a brief summary of each of the nominees. Christopher Columbus was an Italian explorer who led 4 successful voyages to the New World across the Atlantic Ocean in 1492, 1493, 1498, and 1502. His voyages opened up the New World for conquest and European colonization. John Smith was an English soldier, explorer, and author. He played a very big role in the colonization of Jamestown and the survival of the colony in 1607. He helped the colony by training the settlers how to farm so they would have food which is necessary for their survival. Pocahontas was a Native American who is known for her involvement with the settlement of Jamestown, Virginia. She was also known for maintaining balance between her father and the settlers in 1607. She is remembered as a courageous and strong woman. William Penn was a religious advocate and an English Quaker leader. He is known for founding the colony of Pennsylvania in 1681. Pennsylvania was established as a Quaker colony, and the Quaker religion is all about feeling a direct connection between God and you. Jonathan Edwards was one of the founders of the Great Awakening. He went on to become one of the main figures in the religious revival. His most famous speech that he is most known by was made in 1741, and it was called Sinners in the Hands of an Angry God. Now that you all heard all of that, it is time to present the winner. And the winner of the person who made the most change in the colonial area goes to Pocahontas. Come down, Pocahontas, and give us...
Hello all, I am so humbled and grateful to have received this token of love and kindness from you. I have gone through a lot just to keep the balance between my people and the settlers. I couldn't have done it if I didn't believe that one day all men would live together in harmony and peace. We are all people no matter what, and we all have feelings in our heart, and that's what's most important. Thank you once again. I truly thank all of you.
Thank you, Pocahontas, for that truthful speech. Now it's time to move on to our fourth award for the night. And this award goes to the woman who set the best example for other females. Our nominees include Abigail Adams, Molly Pitcher, Deborah Sampson, Harriet Tubman, and Elizabeth Cady Stanton. Now I will share something brief about each of these people. Abigail Adams was married to John Adams, the second president of the United States. She was not just a wife, but she was also a feminist, a key political advisor to her husband, and she was even the first lady to live in what would become the White House. She is remembered by her letter she wrote to her husband in 1776 to remember the ladies and how they contributed to the fight for America's independence. Molly Pitcher was a name given to a woman whose job was to carry water to the soldiers during the Battle of Monmouth in 1778. And then when her husband couldn't fight anymore, she took over for him and fought in the battle. Most people believe that Molly Pitcher was a woman named Mary Ludwig Hayes, but no one knows for sure. Deborah Sampson was a woman from Massachusetts who disguised herself as a man to be able to fight in the war. She is one of the only women who were recorded fighting in the Continental Army in the Revolutionary War. She served in the Army from 1782 to 1783. Harriet Tubman was a born slave in Maryland and escaped to the South in 1849 to become one of the most famous conductors of the Underground Railroad, which was a series of tunnels underground that helped slaves escape. During a 10-year span, she made 19 trips back and forth from the South to the North and freed more than 300 slaves. Elizabeth Cady Stanton was an American leader in the women's rights movement. She is best known for how she drafted the first organized demand for women's suffrage in 1848 at the Seneca Falls Convention. Now it's time to announce the winner for the woman who set the best example for other females. And the award goes to Deborah Sampson. Come on down, Deborah, and talk about yourself.
Hi guys, thank you so much for voting me for this award. As you can see, I dressed up as a man tonight so I could better communicate my time in the war. Winning this means so much to me because it shows all the females out there that they can get their hands dirty too, and they can fight for themselves both physically and verbally. I hope everyone has a good night, and I love you all.
Thank you, Deborah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time for our fifth award of the night, which goes to the Best Supporting President of the United States of America. Our nominees for this award are John Adams, George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, FDR, Richard Nixon, and John F. Kennedy. I will now share a brief analysis of each of the nominees. John Adams played a leading role in the American Revolution by opposing the Stamp Act, being part of the Continental Congress, and many more things. He was elected the second president of the U.S. in 1796. During his presidency, he was not too popular with the citizens, and he actually became the first president to not get re-elected due to his poor choice with passing controversial laws and even declaring an undeclared war with France. George Washington served as a general and commander-in-chief in the colonial army during the Revolutionary War. He was also the first president of the United States and was elected in 1789. During his time as president, he created regulations for future presidents so no one would get too power crazy, which was a noble thing of him to do. He was also known as one of the most honest presidents that America has had and has always shared what was going on with the citizens. Abraham Lincoln is one of the most well-known presidents in history. He is known for his acts to stop slavery, like Emancipation Proclamation, and he played a key role in coming up with the 13th Amendment, which formally abolished slavery in 1865. He was also president during the time of the Civil War, and the determination he had to unify the South and the North is what kept the Union so strong, and he's one of the main reasons the Union won the war. FDR created a lot of change in America for the better. He has helped us through many situations like the Great Depression, when he came up with his brilliant plan of the New Deal, which provided jobs for the jobless citizens at the time during the years 1933 to 1939. He also led us through World War II, and he brought us out of isolationism, which he realized was not best for America, and he was right. Also, a fun fact about him is that he was the only president to serve 3 terms. Richard Nixon was a confusing president who has a lot of controversial feelings about him and what he did in his time in presidency. At first, many people were excited about Nixon being elected. However, we have many pieces of evidence and many witnesses to show that he broke into the Watergate complex where the National Democratic Committee was holding their convention. He faced many trials, and eventually a tape was released that revealed his involvement in illegal business that related to the Watergate break-in. He resigned because he knew he was facing inevitable impeachment. This whole situation occurred around the year 1972. John F. Kennedy was the 35th President of the United States, and he was also the youngest president to ever be in office. He is most known for solving the Cuban Missile Crisis and for signing the Nuclear Test Ban Treaty. Also, he was the one who proposed a need for a Civil Rights Act, which was passed. However, he was sadly assassinated on November 22nd, 1963, before he could see it go into effect. Now it is time to announce the winner of the award. And the award goes to FDR. FDR, come down here and give us a little speech.
Well, first of all, I'm very grateful and humbled to receive this award tonight. And I would also like to acknowledge the other nominees as well, because being the President of America is not an easy job. And there's a lot of dedication and time that goes into it. Overall, I love being president because I had the power to help others and make an impact in their life. That would help them find jobs, happiness, homes, and good health. Overall, I'm so grateful for this country, for all that this country has taught me, and I hope everyone has a great rest of their night.
Thank you, FDR. Thank you. It is now time to move on to the 6th award for tonight. And this award goes to the idea gone most wrong in history. And I know that this award is not celebrating any achievements or accomplishments, but these ideas gone bad teach us to grow from our mistakes, and that's what really is important. The nominees for this award are Buying on Margin, Bleeding Kansas, Berlin Wall, and Bay of Pigs. I will now tell a summary of each of the nominees. Buying on margin was when someone who typically couldn't afford to buy stocks would borrow money from someone who is richer, and they would use that money to buy their stocks. They would then hope that they would get rich. However, almost all of the time that didn't happen, and then they wouldn't have enough money to pay the people who they borrowed money from back, which caused them to be in great debt. This trend was very popular in the late 1920s. Bleeding Kansas was an event in history caused by something called popular sovereignty. Popular sovereignty was a method people used to try and fairly decide which states would be free or not. How it worked was the residents of the new state would vote on it, and the majority wins. This caused many abolitionists and pro-slavery people to move to these new states just so they can put their vote in. This is what happened in Kansas through the years 1855 to 1861. Some people even brought guns and weapons on voting day to persuade people to vote for their side. The Berlin Wall surrounded all of Western Berlin and blocked anyone from immigrating over to Eastern Berlin. Over 100,000 people tried to escape, and an estimated 5,000 only did. And 136 to 200 people actually died trying to escape the Berlin Wall. The Berlin Wall was up during these years 1961 to 1989. The Bay of Pigs was a failed landing operation on the southwestern coast of Cuba in 1961. The people on the mission were CIA-financed and trained group of Cuban refugees. Kennedy hoped that this would get them a leg up in the Cold War, but it all turned out to be an utter failure. It is now time to announce the winner of the idea gone most wrong in history. And the award goes to Buying on Margin. Come on down, Buying on Margin, and tell us a little bit more.
Hello all. I'm embarrassed but at the same time happy to be up here receiving this award. I'm happy because I get to share my story with you all about how I was deceived by chance and hope of getting rich even though I wasn't guaranteed. However, I have learned from my mistakes and what can become of them if I keep repeating them. Overall, I hope you all never do what I did because it can land you in a lot of debt.
Folks, let's now move on to our 7th award of the night, which is the award for the bloodiest battle. Our nominees include the Battle of Manassas, the Battle of Gettysburg, and the Battle of Antietam. I will now share a summary of all of the nominees. The Battle of Manassas occurred on July 21st, 1861, and it was the first battle of the Civil War. The two united armies clashed near Manassas Junction, Virginia, and there they fought the first real battle. Thousands of lives were lost that day, and it sadly ended in a Confederate victory. This surprised the Union very much, and it made them realize that this war may not be won so easily. The Battle of Gettysburg occurred on the days July 1st through the 3rd, 1863, and it was Robert E. Lee's second attempt at invading the North. This battle lasted a total of 3 days, and it ended in a total of 50,000 casualties. This battle is referred to as the bloodiest battle overall of the Civil War. This battle is also often referred to as the turning point in the war because it was such a huge battle and it came out as a Union victory, which they needed at the time. The Battle of Antietam occurred on September 17, 1862, near Sharpsburg, Maryland. This battle is referred to as the single bloodiest day of the Civil War. The battle ended after a total of 12 hours with more than 23,000 men dead. The Union came out with the win on this battle, and they removed the Confederates out of Maryland. Now I will announce the winner of this award, and the award goes to Battle of Gettysburg. Come on down, Gettysburg, and give us a little speech about yourself.
I'm glad that I get to come up here and talk to you all about myself so we can all honor the fallen soldiers together. The soldiers fought greatly, and they did not die in vain. Since this is a sensitive subject, that is all I can say for now. Long live America.
Thank you, Battle of Gettysburg. Thank you for that kind speech. Here, you can go now. Now it's time to announce our 8th award for the night, which goes to the most preferred immigrating spot. And the nominees for this award are Ellis Island and Angel Island. I will now share a summary of both nominees. Ellis Island is located in the New York Harbor and was a main immigration site from 1892 to 1954. Over 12 million people immigrated over Ellis Island, making it one of the biggest migration spots to occur in history. Angel Island was a very big immigration site, especially for Chinese immigrants. However, the conditions at Angel Island were a lot different than Ellis Island. You had to prove that you had a family member that lived in America or some type of connection, or else you were not allowed in. Over 1 million people immigrated through Angel Island through the years 1910 to 1940. Now it's time to announce the winner, and the award goes to Ellis Island. Come on down, Ellis Island, and tell us a little bit
for
more.
voting for me on this award. I am grateful to have immigrated over 12 million people into the U.S. because I know that they're going to live free lives here in America, which was what was really most important to me. Thank you all once again. Have a great night.
Thank you, Ellis Island. You can go now. It is now time for our 9th award of the night, which goes to the best turning point in World War II. And the nominees are the Battle of Midway and D-Day. I will now talk about both. The Battle of Midway was the turning point in the Pacific Theater and occurred on June 4th through 7th, 1942. This battle was a decisive naval battle that took place 6 months after the Japanese bombed Honolulu, Hawaii, also known as Pearl Harbor. This was such an important battle because it was a huge naval victory for the U.S. Because the Japanese had a very, very strong naval army, and the fact that the U.S. won really proved to everyone that America was powerful. D-Day was an invasion that was a turning point in the European theater, and it occurred on June 6, 1944. The Allied forces attacked German forces on the coast of Normandy, France. The Allies had a huge army of over 150,000 soldiers, and they won the invasion, and it came out as a great victory for the Allied powers. Now it's time to announce our winner, and the award goes to the Battle of Midway. Come on down, Battle of Midway, and share a little bit more about yourself. I know you're shy. It's okay.
I'm so happy to have received this gracious award tonight. I know that I earned this prize through perseverance and determination, and that's what's really most important about me and my battle, because we are strong all the way through and never gave up.
Thank you, Battle of Midway. Have a great rest of the night. Our last award for the night is the award that goes to the best speech, and the nominees are the Gettysburg Address and the I Have a Dream speech. I will now share about both of these speeches. The Gettysburg Address was given by Abraham Lincoln on November 19, 1863. He addressed and recognized all of the fallen soldiers of the horrific and bloody Battle of Gettysburg. In his address, he also dedicated a battlefield cemetery in honor of all the fallen soldiers as well. His speech has become very famous because it connected the sacrifices of war with the birth of new freedom, which was a very powerful message. Martin Luther King delivered one of the most powerful speeches in history called I Have a Dream on August 28, 1963. Not only were his words powerful, but his voice was too. It was almost like he was singing the words out. His speech brought so much attention to the civil rights movement that the speech is one of the key factors of the movement when people research it. Overall, the message was so beautiful and passionate that it motivated everyone watching it. Now it's time to announce the winner for this award. And the winner for this award is the I Have a Dream speech. Come on down, Martin Luther King Jr., and tell us a little bit more about the speech you gave.
I am so grateful to have won this award because I put my heart and soul into that speech and I really gave it my all. My goal was to motivate people and to make them see that all people belong together and we need to integrate, not segregate, or else we will live like this forever. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Martin Luther King. Well, audience, unfortunately, that is all that we have for tonight, and I hope I was a good host for you all. Now go back home and tell all your friends and family about the wonderful night you had. Bye, everyone. Good night.